Hi guys, welcome to Brand X Reviews. Okay, on this channel I usually talk about films and popular culture, but every now and again I'll do a review of a book or something like that. And this is something that I've been reading recently. I've just finished this book today and it came out a few weeks ago. And it's something that's kind of surrounded by controversy really, and I can totally see why. This is a guy that I don't really follow as such. I've taken exception to a lot of the things that he's kind of talked about in the past. But generally speaking, I think he's doing a good job and he means well. So amongst, making lots of money as well, but you can say that about anybody. So I don't really buy into that argument. Now, what's great about this book is kind of to the point with what I'm going to say here now. I do realise that just by reviewing this book, I'll probably lose a few followers and probably have a few people in my social circle that'll want to have a go at me. So that kind of put me off wanting to review this book, which is technically self-censorship, I suppose, and that really isn't something that I feel comfortable with. So I thought, bollocks, I'm just going to review this book. And by me talking about that, I am effectively getting into what the book is about, really, because in about 260 pages nearly, this guy gets into a lot of the sort of recent things that have been going on, particularly in America, with regards to censorship and freedom of speech. And freedom of speech doesn't apply to just people who you agree with. Popular speech doesn't need to be protected. It's unpopular speech, really. And fundamentally, I think that's where this book is really quite strong in that regard, because it really gets into a lot of the dangers of, well, I hate to say this, but the left, the political left, and how obsessed they've got in recent times with conformity. And I don't want to be preaching here, but this is effectively what this book gets into, and it gives some really great examples. Now, to be specific, one thing that I do like about this book that I think really makes it quite a good source of information is the fact that the information he's talking about is constantly referenced and backed up. So opinions are always going to vary, but here you've got a lot of the sources for when things get brought up in this. So you can discern, dissect the information and make up your own opinion, basically. Take what is in this book with a pinch of salt. And remember that this guy is a professional provocateur. He doesn't hide from that. He's constantly talking about that and how it might be madness, but there's a method to his madness. And, if he has to just be a kind of villain character, which will then cause the left to show their true colours, which a lot of the time includes racism against white people, sexism against men, misandry, all that kind of stuff. He brings that to the surface with these people, which is what's really good about this. This book really does kind of just catalogue a lot of this. So I recommend it from that point of view. Like I say, take it with a pinch of salt. And just bear in mind, he is a professional provocateur. He's not a shining example of what we should aspire to be. And he doesn't even hide that. That's what's good about this book. It's a very honest book in that sense. Now here you can see the chapter selection here as well. Chapter selection? That sounds like a DVD. The chapter list. You can kind of see the kind of stuff that he gets into and how many pages there are for each chapter as well, just to give you an idea if you're thinking of buying this book. So I'll pretty much leave it at that anyway. There's, opinions are always going to vary on this subject, but if it's something that you're interested in, I'd recommend this book, because efforts were made to get this book not to exist, basically. As you often get whenever there's anything controversial, people always try to shut it down. We see that in lots of different things, so why should this be any different? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because, as always, I've started rambling, so I hope I've given you an idea of what this book's about anyway, and you can see here it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, and it's got a nice sense of humour to it as well. So I'll leave it there and say thank you very much for watching.